Have you ever stopped to think about what separates a wild idea in a lab from, the actual phone in your pocket or the spacecraft hurtling towards Mars? Well, the answer is in this incredible world of materials science and engineering. So let's dive into the field that is, and I mean this literally, building our future.
Okay, right off the bat, let's get straight to the heart of it. The simplest way to think about this is the why versus the how. Materials science is all about the why. It's asking why a material acts the way it does on a fundamental level. Then you have materials engineering, which is all about the how. How do we take that knowledge and actually build something useful with it? It's really that simple. Discovery versus application.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll dig deeper into that why versus how idea. We'll see why chemistry is the absolute bedrock of this whole field. Then we'll look at the 5 key pillars that guide the work in 2026, check out where the hottest jobs are, and finally, we'll talk about the new kind of professional everyone's looking for, the scientist-engineer hybrid. All right, so let's start by really drawing a clear line in the sand between these two fields. I mean, they're connected, for sure, but what does it really mean to be on the science side versus the engineering side of things? Okay, so a materials scientist. Think of them as a pioneer, an explorer. They're the ones in the lab asking those big fundamental questions. They're creating brand new materials that have never existed before, like nanocarbons. You've probably heard of graphene, right? Their job is to figure out what's possible at the most basic atomic level.
Then the materials engineer steps in. They take that amazing discovery and ask, this is cool, but how can we make it useful? And more importantly, how can we make 1 million of them? They're the ones developing the processes, like super advanced 3D printing, to turn a tiny lab discovery into a real-world product, like a super lightweight airplane wing or a medical implant that's perfectly customized for a patient.
Now you might be wondering, how do we know how to do any of this stuff? And that brings us to our next point, which is so important. Underneath all of this, there's one science that sets all the rules of the game, and that's chemistry.
This quote here really gets to the heart of it. Chemistry is the rule book. It's the language that tells us which atoms will play nice together, how they'll bond, and what cool structures they'll end up forming. Honestly, without chemistry, materials science and engineering just wouldn't exist. It's the whole foundation.
So how exactly does it shape materials? Well, first, it's all about atomic structure and bonding. That's why the exact same carbon atoms can form an insanely hard diamond or a soft, slippery piece of graphite for your pencil. It also explains things like thermodynamics, which tells us if a material is going to be stable or if it's just going to fall apart and rust. But the most exciting part? Molecular design. This is where we literally build materials from the ground up to have the exact properties we're dreaming of.
And if you want a perfect cutting-edge example of this, just look at perovskites. Scientists are using those basic rules of chemistry to design these crystals, almost atom by atom, to be unbelievably good at soaking up solar energy. This isn't just stumbling upon something in a lab. This is materials by design, and it is 100% powered by chemistry.
Okay, so we've got this chemical foundation. How do professionals in the field actually put it all together? Let's get into the modern framework they use to get from a basic idea all the way to a finished product.
For decades, this has been a 4-step process. You start with processing, how you make the thing. That directly impacts its internal structure. That structure then determines its properties, like how strong or conductive it is. And finally, those properties dictate its overall performance. But for 2026, we've added a 5th absolutely crucial pillar: sustainability. Now we have to ask, what happens when it's done? Can we recycle it? It's all about closing that loop.
But how do you actually link all these pillars together? You can't just guess, right? That's where some seriously powerful tools come into play, like scanning electron microscopes, or SEMs. These things let us literally see how the atoms are arranged, making the invisible world totally visible.
So we've got the theory down, but where is all this amazing knowledge actually being used? Let's pivot and talk about the real-world industries where the demand for these skills is just exploding.
First up, aerospace and defense. I mean, to make planes and spacecraft faster, safer, and more fuel efficient, you need materials that are unbelievably strong, but also super lightweight. We're talking about crafting new titanium alloys for the body of the plane, or designing incredible ceramic coatings that can withstand the insane heat inside a jet engine.
Next, you've got the EV revolution. The entire electric vehicle industry basically runs on materials innovation. The biggest hurdles right now are all about designing better batteries. Things like solid-state batteries that are safer and can store way more energy. It's also about fine-tuning semiconductors, the brains of the car, by adding tiny, precise amounts of other elements, a process called doping. The bottom line is simple. Better materials mean better electric cars, period.
And then there's biomedicine, which is maybe the most impactful area of all. Here, engineers are designing materials that have to work seamlessly with the human body. Think about it. Biomaterials that can act as artificial skin for burn victims, smart alloys that remember their shape for life-saving heart stents, and even 3D printing bone structures that your own body can grow into and accept. It's just incredible.
This all sounds fantastic, right? But let's get practical. What does a career in this field actually look like in 2026? Let's talk about the skills you need, the kind of money you can make, and the new type of professional that every company is searching for. And here it is, the big shift for 2026. Just being good in a lab isn't quite enough anymore. The absolute top performers are now using computational skills. We're talking Python, machine learning, to simulate and predict how a material is going to behave before they even bother making it. This skill set is so valuable that it can command a salary premium of 15 to 20%.
And that premium makes a massive difference. For a specialist who has those computational skills, especially in a hot industry, you're looking at salaries that can push well past $172,000 a year.
Let's just walk through the career path here. You can start out as a graduate engineer making a really solid salary, somewhere between $75,000 and $85,000. As you get more experience, you move into a senior role, easily hitting six figures. But to get to that top tier, that specialist, the computational lead, that's where those digital skills become your ticket to the really big money.
Which brings us to our final big idea. The lines are blurring. The industry today doesn't just want a pure scientist or a pure engineer anymore. They need a hybrid. They need a professional who deeply understands the molecular why and has the practical skills to deliver the industrial how.
So the question isn't really a choice anymore. It's not, are you the scientist or the engineer? The biggest challenges our world is facing, from clean energy to better healthcare, demand people who can do it all. The future absolutely needs to be built, and in 2026, the person building it needs to be both.